ओम ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओं नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानीकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तवम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणान् ब्रह्मणस्पतः शृण्वन् सीदसादनम्। ॐ श्री महागणपतये नमः। नारद उवाच प्रणम्य शिरसा देवं गौरीपुत्रं विनायकं भक्तावासं स्मरेन् नित्यम् आयुः कामार्थसिद्धये। प्रथमं वक्रतुण्डं च एकदन्तं द्वितीयकं तृतीयं कृष्णपिङ्गाक्षं गजवक्त्रं चतुर्थकं लम्बोदरं पञ्चमं च षष्ठं विकटमेव च सप्तमं विघ्नराजं च धूम्रवर्णं तथाष्टमं नवमं बालचन्द्रं च दशमं तु विनायकम् एकादशं गणपतिं द्वादशं तु गजाननं द्वादशैतानि नामानि त्रिसन्ध्यं यः पठेन्नरः न च विघ्नभयं तस्य सर्वसिद्धिकरं प्रभो। हेलो हेलो So we will chant Guru Stotra. Om Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sthavaram Jangamam Vyaptam Yatkinchit Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sarvashruti Shiro Ratna Virajita Padambujaha Vedantam Bujasuryo Yaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chaitanya Shashvata Shantaha Vyomatito Niranjanaha Bindunada Kalatita Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jnana Shakti Samarudha Tattvamala Vibhushitaha Bhukti Mukti Pradata Cha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Anika Janma Samprapta Karma Bandha Vidahine Atmajnana Pradanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shoshanam Bhavasindhoscha Jnapanam Sarasampadaha Guroh Padodakam Samyak Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Na Guru Radikam Tattvam Na Guru Radikam Tapaha Tattvajnanat Param Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mannata Shri Jagannatha Madguru Shri Jagadguruhu Madatma Sarvabhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. ओम ओम. Let's chant Gita Dhyanam. ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी. नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः. सर्वोपनिषदो गावः दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्. वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वाणी कर्मेण वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैर्नदी कैवर्तककेशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जनषट्पतैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारतपङ्कजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे. मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः. कटाक्ष किरणाचान्त नमन्मोहाब्दये नमः. अनन्तानन्द कृष्णाय जगन्मङ्गलमूर्तये. अहमस्मि सदा भामि कदाचिन्नाहमप्रियः ब्रह्मैवाहमतः सिद्धं सच्चिदानन्दलक्षणम्. ओम. We are in chapter 2 today. We'll go through repeat some sections of last week because we need to get it very well into our system. No point in just theoretically appreciate. There is nothing called theoretical Vedanta. Theoretical Vedanta, practical Vedanta. Vedanta means you are the subject matter. So when I am the subject matter, what can be theory about me? There is no theory about you. Only there's nothing practical. It is you. You have to know yourself properly. If you don't know yourself properly, we are going to have problems, lifelong problems. If in this life it's solved, you will continue next life the same set of problems. Better sort it out here. They say the one other place you can possibly get it is Brahma Loka. To reach Brahma Loka, you have to struggle a lot. So after reaching Brahma Loka, Brahmaji will ask you, you got a chance to attend in Abhiramapuram, Prithvi Avenue. Why didn't you attend? Up in Kaparal. So when you get a chance in Bhulokam, why miss it? Brahma Lokam going is a very challenging thing. As you are approaching Brahma Lokam, now other jivas are affected. Like we have first to go through Swarga Lokam. Swarga Loka's head is Indra. So as you are approaching Svargalokam, Indra will feel threatened because you are going to occupy his seat. So he will disturb you. He will send you heavy rainfall, flood. He will send Menaka Urvashi after you to disturb your concentration so that you go back to earth and suffer there. So every stage of spiritual evolution is challenging. And going to another loka to get the same knowledge, better get it here. We are fortunate enough to get exposure and get direct knowledge from a parampara. That's why we started Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam. It has come in an unbroken lineage of teachers. So when we get the opportunity here, let us learn it properly. Like I said, there is no theory here. Theory, practice, it's not like that. It's cognitive. We'll see it today. Okay. Let's chant from verse number 11. Let's chant from 11. Let's get the verse into your system. It should come, it start flashing. So till we reach 11, verse number 11. Verse number 11. Oh, you would like to? Okay, yeah. So verse number 11 we will chant. Ashocyananvasocastvam pragyavadanscha bhashase gatasuna gatasunscha nanushocanti panditaha natvevaham jatu nasam. First one we'll just continue chanting. Only when we are going to learn that I will repeat a few times. Okay. Verse number 12. Natvevaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadhipaha na chaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi dhirastatra namuhyati matra sparshastu kaunteya शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदा आगमा पायिनो नित्याः तान् स्थितिक्षस्व भारत यं हि न व्यतयन्ति एते पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभ समदुःख सुखं धीरं सोममृत्वाय कल्पते. Verse number 16. नासतो विद्यते भावः na bhavo vidyate satah. Repeat first line with me. Na sato vidyate bhavah na bhavo vidyate satah ubhayorapi drishtontah tvanayor tattvadarshibhi ubhayorapi drishtontah tvanayor tattvadarshibhi. Let's repeat the whole verse. Na sato vidyate bhavah na bhavo vidyate satah ubhayorapi drishtontah tvanayor tattvadarshibhi. This is one of the, I won't call it difficult verses. This verse in particular has a lot of subtlety. But there's a certain nuance we have to understand properly. Otherwise, it won't make sense. Word meaning says there is no absence of Satvastu. The Asatvastu was never present. And one who knows the difference is called a wise man. That is a simple word. So why does he have to make it in such a complicated fashion? Because we need to understand certain things very, very well. And we have to repeat it several times till it gets into the system. Several times we have to repeat. We know things around us. Anything objectified is anatma. Anything that I objectify is anatma. And the being that objectifies is atma. Okay? The being which objectifies anything is called atma. And what is objectified is called anatma. So there are only two vastus, atma, anatma. The anatma is known by operating your means of knowledge. Okay, means of knowledge we use, like last week we saw pratyaksha pramana, eyes, ears, nose. Anumana pramana, inferential means of knowledge. By operating pratyaksha pramana and anumana, etc. pramana, we come to know the entire world of objects. We know the anatma. Now, object of knowledge, known, there is a knower. So, who is the knower? How do you know the knower? To know the knower, you don't need to operate a pramana. To know myself, I don't need a pramana. I don't have to check whether I exist through eyes or somebody else. I don't have to infer I exist. That I exist is self-evident. It is called Swata Siddham. That I am, I don't need any evidence whatsoever. To know everything else, I need to operate an appropriate pramana. I need to operate an appropriate means of knowledge. If I don't operate the appropriate means of knowledge, I will not know it properly. To see color, I have to use eyes only. Okay, to hear sounds, I have to use only ears. There's no other way. Okay, and to know myself, I don't need a pramana. I am self-evident. But to know what I am, what is my nature, what is my true nature, I need a pramana. I need some means of knowing, because I know myself without any kind of means of knowledge. But when it comes to what am I question, I start using the wrong means of knowledge. I use the pratyaksha pramana for knowing myself. I am the subject, karta. The karta uses an instrument to know an object. How will the instrument work for the karta himself? It won't work, because it is my instrument. It's a karanam. It's an instrument in my hand. The instrument in the hand of the karta will not help you know the karta. Like, let's go back to those days. Photographer. In a photograph, you can see everybody other than the photographer. Of course, these days selfie has come. You can photograph yourself, but you can't photograph your camera. So the objectifier cannot be known by operating a means of knowledge. If I use the means of knowledge improperly, I will come to improper conclusions. So I try to know myself through my eyes. So what do I see? I see somebody about 5'6", 5'7", 6 feet height. A color I see. Then I see a gender. I see an age. Okay. I find that this is likable up to a point. Beyond that, it is no longer likable. I find if these changes were made in that, it will better be appealing to me. That means I've used a means of knowledge which is not meant for knowing me. I've tried to know something else. And obviously, the knowledge, but what comes to me is not satisfying. So we start what is called Vedanta Vichara. You start inquiry. What is your nature? And we have to use appropriate means of knowledge. The appropriate means of knowledge here is Vedanta Vakya. It is in the form of words. And the Vedanta Vakya has to be operated by somebody, has to be employed by somebody who knows the meaning properly. And all the words that are used there are known words. For instance, suppose I use some unknown word. I come and tell you, you are bliss. Makes no meaning. I don't know what is bliss. I know one more word for which I don't know that. You are eternal. Another meaning. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. It only sense takes me on a journey. It doesn't make sense to me. Or let's say, let's use another language. I use a completely different language. You are gaga boga bubu. You will think I have flipped. It doesn't take very long for someone to flip. It doesn't work that way. There is a frame of reference. In that frame of reference, there are a number of words which I have known, I have learned, I have acquired. There is a frame of reference. In that frame of reference, you will have to use a word which I know and remove the meaning of the words which I have already concluded. So suppose I tell you, you are self-evident. Self-evident. What is the meaning of self-evident? Self-evident means you know yourself without the need of any other means of knowledge. To know whether this is there or not, I need to operate a sense organ. If it's in my pocket, I have to touch and feel whether it is there. But to know whether you are there, you don't need a sense organ. You don't need a pramana. When somebody calls you by name and you get up, you say, yeah, speaking. Even when you get up from sleep, the first thing you know is you are there. You are, I am. Deep sleep, you did not know anything else existed. But you get up and say, I slept well. I did not know anything. That means there is an awareful being. You are an awareful being. This awareful being functions through a body-mind complex. The body-mind complex is so intimate to the awareful being that the awareful being has taken the body-mind to be itself. Simple example I'll have to give you. What is in front of you? Yeah, I've got this cup here, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. So, what's in front of your eyes? All these things are in front of my eyes. Hey, what about your glasses? The glasses have become so intimately attached to the eyes that I don't see this as separate from my eyes. I've taken it to be my eyes. In the same way, the body has become so intimately close, so intimate to the awareful being that the body is taken to be the awareful being's nature. Now, everything I objectify is anatma. Anatma comes with certain defects. Or I wouldn't call it a defect, it's the nature of anatma. Why call it a defect? One, it has a birth date, it has a period, it has to die. Any anatma has an arrival, an existence, and death. This also comes under the same category. But what is my nature? I am awareful being. The awareful being always exists. The awareful being, therefore, is not able to accept death for itself because it is not my nature. It is not my nature. Therefore, death is something I want to struggle out of. Okay. Similarly, all the objects around me, they all have a point of time when they are useful to me. There are a point of time when the same object gives me unhappiness. So this puts me on a path of inquiry. And Veda leads you into that inquiry. So the inquiry starts with, what is it that you are really pursuing in life? We are pursuing a lot of things. I want to accomplish a lot of things. What is it that you actually want to accomplish? Because let's say I start my life, I'm about 5 years old. And that age, I am small, insignificant person. So somebody tells me, unless you do this, you will not become somebody. Unless you do this, you will not become somebody. So I grow with a sense of fear that unless I do this, I'm a nobody. Unless I do this, I am a nobody. So from the age of 50, I have now become 70 years old. I have a lot of accomplishments. I've got a lot of labels. My body has changed. I've got a lot of wealth. But ask me deep inside, minus all this, what are you? At 5, you started as a small, insignificant person. At 70, you continue to be small and insignificant. I have not gained anything at all. Vedanta comes and tells you, you have missed, you have wasted your life because you have missed knowing yourself. You are a self-evident Atma. You have not bothered to know. You have been given an instrument to know. You have been given a buddhi to know yourself. You have not bothered to know. That Arjuna discovered, and he said, Karpanya doshaha. People will blame me for a person who has not used his instrument properly. So please teach me, show me what am I really? Who am I really? So Krishna teaches Ashocyan. We will see a little further on that. If you look at all your pursuits, okay, we are all searching for something in life. All of us, without exception, are searching for something in life. This search leads me to something. Not necessarily whatever thing I was looking for. It leads me to something. That something leads me to something else. So, the ends that I pursue seem to have no end. The pursuit seems to be endless. When am I going to sit back and say I have achieved all I wanted to achieve? So you make a list of things you have achieved. Yeah, I've got a house, I've got a country house, I've got a city house, I've got cars, I've got this, I've got this. But dot, dot, dot. But that shows that my accomplishments, my artha, it's called, all the accomplishments come under two categories: securities and pleasures. So throughout my life, I am looking for security. I'm looking for some kind of pleasure, joy. Okay. The more of security, which I think, more of things that I acquire, which I think is insecurity. See, security is only making me more insecure. In fact, the richest man on the earth is the most insecure fellow because he knows terrorists are after him. So, the more I look for security, I find I am deep down continue to be insecure. That means I see myself as a small, insignificant, insecure being, and I'm looking for security among anatma. This anatma can never give me security because they themselves are insecure. I am drowning. What do I hold on to? Some straw or some other person who doesn't know how to swim? So I am insecure. I am trying to get over my insecurity by acquiring things which are insecure by themselves, which are not permanent by themselves. My security never seems to, my search for security never seems to end. I am perpetually looking for security. Vedanta is a mirror. Okay, it says keep looking at it again and again and again. It says the you who's searching outside is an awareful being. This awareful being is of the nature of Satyam. Satyam means that which always is, was, is, and will be. There was no point of time when Satya Vastu was missing. That is your nature. Know yourself as the immortal being that you always wanted to be. There's a process of inquiry. Everything that I see is anatma, variable. I, the subject who knows the variable, has to be invariable. Only on an invariable platform, I can see variable. Therefore, the invariable that you are looking for is dear you. I am. I am. I am. I am is what is invariable. This invariable is of the nature of an awareful presence. And this presence is called Satya Vastu. This Satya Vastu was never absent. So let's take an example. Okay. I'm lighting a stove. I'm putting a vessel there. And the vessel I'm pouring 3-4 glasses of water. And I'm putting some vegetables there. Light. The whole thing heats up. Okay. There's potato inside. The potato is hot. Why is the potato hot? Because the water is hot. Why is the water hot? Because the vessel is hot. Why is the vessel hot? Because the fire is hot. Why is the fire hot? It cannot be otherwise. So, all the vastus here are anatma, perishable. They cannot be otherwise. They are perishable. But why do they look as though they have existence, as though they can give me some satisfaction? It is actually anatma. It's this piece of wood. How can I get me satisfaction? How can these things give me satisfaction? So these things have borrowed an existence from me, the Satvastu. Why is this dear to me? Because it's useful to me. Okay. Why are you dear to yourself? Because I cannot be otherwise. Ahamasmi sada bhami kadachin naham apriyaha. I am never, I never dislike myself. I may dislike various objects around me. I may dislike my projections. I may dislike my body. But I never dislike my awareness. Just as the fire is hot because it can't be otherwise, Vedanta comes and reveals your nature to you. And this Sattvastu, the heat of the fire, was never absent. Because it is always there. So, na sato. Okay, so yeah. The Sattvastu was never absent. The heat of the fire was never absent. Now, the vegetables, the water, the vessels, all of them became hot. They intrinsically don't have any heat. By nature, they have nothing with them. So, to say that the potato is hot is possibly just a usage. It never had any sat in it. It was an asat vastu which borrowed existence from the sat vastu, fire. An asat vastu borrowed existence from the sat vastu, fire. In the same way, what I see around me is all asat vastu. This asat vastu has no capacity for giving me happiness. But by nature, I am a happy being. So my association with all of them, or their association with me, has as though given them a certain life, a capacity to make me happy. So nasato vidyate bhava. The asat vastu never had any permanent existence. Okay. Then na bhavo vidyate sata. The sat vastu never had any absence. So I am the Satvastu, I am the invariable, I am the subject, I am the awareful conscious being. This awareful conscious being was never absent. And what the awareful conscious being is aware of does not have an existence of its own. That is the understanding. Let's take one more example. There is a clay pot, a ceramic pot. Nice, I've got a clay pot. So this is a asat vastu. This asat vastu has utility. It has variety. Okay. It also has a value. So it has got utility, it has got variety, it has got novelty. But it does not have an independent existence of its own other than the content which made this vastu. This has no existence apart from clay. So what is this? Clay. Inside, outside, everywhere there is only clay. Okay, the names, it's got a name called a cup. It does not have an independent existence of its own. This can break, fall, and the existence can come to an end. But the existence of clay will never come to an end. The clay will continue to exist. So, asat vastu bhavaha nasti. This never had an independent existence. Satvastu abhavaha nasti. The clay was never absent. Only to an example. Okay. So, this is the karyam. There is a karanam. The karanam is never absent. In the same way, this is the karyam. All these are karyam. There is a knower. There is a subject. The subject is the karanam. And the karanam the karanam cannot be absent. Therefore, I use other words, immortal. The karanam can never ever go away. The karyam can go away. The karanam can never go away. Therefore, in all my pursuits, then I collect anatma around me, my things, my position, my possession, the people, relationships, all of them are temporary. They will all go away. What will not go away? The knower will never go away, will always be there. So if your identification is with the changing world, you are going to be a permanently unhappy person because things will change. Things will change. People will change. The person who loved you so much yesterday by afternoon will say, no, the spark is gone. The spark is gone. Where is it gone? Because it can go, therefore it is gone. How can the spark go? The nature of the spark is agama apai. It will come, it will go. It's only a spark. It's a spark. It has come, it is gone. Spark will come, spark will go. Anything in time has to perish, including your dear body. It has to perish. And if your identification is with this perishable stuff, you are going to be a permanently unhappy, insecure person playing with permutations and combinations of things around you, trying to be happy, struggling to make permutations happy, and you will never ever be successful. And this is called a kripana, means who has never used his buddhi to understand certain things. The buddhi has to be used to understand reality. What is the reality? There are anatma, atma. Atma is permanent, anatma is impermanent. Atma belongs to the realm of absolute reality. Anatma belongs to the realm of transactional vyavahara reality. Therefore, my paradigm changes, my equation changes, I act intelligently thereafter. I use this world. I will not try to use the expression I use people. Okay, I use things. I relate to people. Okay, I I acquire positions and possessions, knowing fully well that they do not have the capacity to give me permanent peace, security, and happiness. So when I know something cannot give me permanent peace, security, and happiness, I give it the value it deserves. I don't overvalue it. I don't undervalue it. There are some relationships. A relationship cannot give me permanent peace of security. Therefore, that means again unintelligent living. I know this cannot give me permanent peace, security, happiness. I know that for sure. So I relate appropriately with that person. We help each other grow. And when I am able to appreciate and ascribe the right value to things, I am emotionally grown up person. I am an emotionally grown up person. I grow between my ears. The growth physically, even buffalo grows. It grows much faster and stronger. But if I have not grown between this space, then I'm worse than an animal. Animal does certain things much better than I do. Ahara, vihara, maithuna, bhaya. Animal does much better. If I'm going to do that, then why do I call myself a human being? I should grow. The emotional growth is here. When I'm emotionally grown up, I have what is called freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from insecurity. Because I know these things anyway does not belong to me. Anyway, they will perish. What's the big deal? I'm going on a holiday. Okay, I stay in a 5-star hotel. Expenses paid holiday, 3 nights, 2 days, or 3 days, 2 nights. What regret do I have in packing my bags and coming back to the airport on the 3rd day? I know on day 1, I'm going to anyway get out of this place. I don't feel, maybe, yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed, but I don't feel insecure, sad about leaving that place. Just an example, okay. There are a lot of people who hate coming back home from that place. The home they have converted into hell because of the wrong expectations from home. You have not learned to relate to your home properly. You say, I live in a toxic home. Home is not toxic. It's an anatma. How it can be toxic? There are some unrealistic expectations. You have not learned to relate properly. That's why it has become a toxic home. Therefore, then your understanding of the reality is there. You are a free person. You are free inside. Such a person is called a Nitya Muktaha because you are ever free. You don't have to go to Himalayas to become Nitya Muktaha. Sit inside a cave and get mosquito bites. Here and now, you are free. You just have to ascribe a reality to it. You are watching a movie. You sometimes are, my God, acting. What great acting. You are free inside. You appreciate the sorrow there. You appreciate the tension there. You appreciate the unfolding of the story, knowing fully well that it is a movie. Knowing fully well, there is only a movie, man. Nothing is happening. In the same way, if your knowledge of reality is clear, if you are an emotionally grown up person, emotional growth, total emotional independence from anatma is moksha. There is no other moksha. Let's understand this very clearly. Some people think going to Brahma Loka is moksha. Going to Swarga Loka is moksha. Understand there also in Hindi they say wahan bhi aage piche hai. So there Indra is the king. He alone will have Airavata. You can't have Airavata. And when you are seated in a royal seat, and when his guru comes, Brahaspati comes, he'll say, Ramkumar, please get up. Guru has to sit here. You will say, Indra, there also you will carry the small mind. I have been insulted. Nobody appreciates me. You will go with the same problem. So, going on a tourism, changing places makes no difference. There is a temporary quietening. Because in that temporary change, all these have a certain borrowed capacity to make you joyful. So there is a temporary absorption. In that temporary absorption, you don't feel something is missed. But once the temporary absorption is gone, again the feeling of inadequacy, feeling deep down all is not well starts. So a paradigm shift, understanding that this cannot give me permanent peace, security, happiness, I learn to relate properly. So when I say nasato vidyate bhava, it is a first step in knowing yourself. Know yourself as that sat vastu. And don't identify with the asat vastu. The asat vastu is meant for your use. You are the karta. And the asat vastu is meant for your use. But what has happened? You have allowed the asat vastu to become the master. You have allowed. There is, that's why I think they have named it MasterCard. You acquire a MasterCard, then become slave of it for the rest of your life. I'll have put on a minimum balance on the due date you pay. Interest keeps building up. Never ending search. Own a MasterCard, become a slave for life. So first step, okay. First step in moksha, don't have credit cards. Throw all your credit cards in. The entire pursuit of competition so that I feel better. Achievement, achievement, achievement. If the more you achieve, it will not solve your problem of inadequacy. It will give you a lot of comforts. But the fundamental problem of inadequacy, what is the fundamental problem of inadequacy? I don't get I am fine reply from you all the time. That shows you fundamentally there is a problem. I send you a message. How are you? Fine. Monday morning, fine. Tuesday morning, fine. Wednesday morning, okay. Thursday morning, no reply. Friday, reply, sir. Okay. If you are sporadically okay, understand that you are inadequate from inside. If you are consistently okay, mukta, you are a moksha, mukta purusha. That's all Vedanta comes and tells you. Vedanta is no secret. This is the secret. I am holding a mirror in front of you. I am showing you a mirror. You are an Ananda Swarupa, man. You have identified with some Ananda, Anatma and feeling bad about it. You have everything given to you. You are an Ananda Swarupa. You are awareness. In your awareness, everything, even Swargaloka is in your awareness. If you dismiss Swargaloka is gone. Indira is in your awareness. You are such an awareful being, a total cosmic being. You are the Jagat Karanam. The whole world exists after you. You are Atma. The whole world is Anatma. The world exists after you. You are the one who objectifies the world. This is you, glorious you, Brahman. I am so big that no challenge is bigger to me. I absorb all challenges. What a vision. This is what Vedanta holds in your eyes. And it explains your nature. Okay, next one. Okay, this is the background for Nasato. I can whole year we can do Nasato Vidyate Bhava. It never ends. Okay, let's see the next one. 70. Avinashitu tat vidhi. Avinashitu tat vidhi. Yena sarvamidam tatam. येन सर्वमिदं ततं, येन सर्वमिदं ततं, अविनाशि तु तद्विद्धि, येन सर्वमिदं ततं, विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य, विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति, न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति, न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति. Whole line. विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति, विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति. Whole verse. अविनाशि तु तद्विद्धि, येन सर्वमिदं ततं, विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति. Okay, once more. अविनाशि तु तद्विद्धि, येन सर्वमिदं ततं, विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति. So, what is your nature? That which you want to be, which you already are, is avinashi. All the objects of your knowledge are destructible. You, the knower, the awareful being, is indestructible. All the pots are destructible. Clay is indestructible. Okay, so don't say I am clay. You are an awareful being. You are the invariable dear one. You are not indestructible. Then what is destructible? Things are destructible. Relationships are destructible. All your labels are destructible. Your own body is destructible. But you, the knower of the body, is indestructible. Therefore, there is no cause for sorrow over something which can, as it is, destroyed. Something is destructible. What is the sorrow about it? Do what is required to be done. That is the lesson here. So some people say, how do I relate to it? How do you relate to it? So, sir, okay, I am indestructible. How do you relate to it? Yeah, you have to relate to it like this. How will you relate to Avinashi? How will you know you are Avinashi? You first thing, I am an awareful being. That is the first step. The awareful being functions through a body-mind complex. The body-mind complex functions in a world of objects, emotions, relationships, positions, possessions, labels. This is your world. You, through the body, play a series of roles in this world. All the roles have responsibilities. The responsibilities will bring you Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukha, which you studied, Matra, Sparshastu, Kaunteya. So you will be playing roles. Roles will have scripts. The script will bring you Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukha. You should have Avinashi. The role player should have the emotional maturity. I am grown up inside to give the right value to the right object, live mindfully, and not get driven by the pressures of the role. Avinashitu tadvidhi. Understand that the invariable role player, you are the invariable. And this invariable is not destroyed. So that is your awarefulness. That is the platform on which you are seated. If that is the platform in which you are in the center. Okay, let's take this example. Okay, somebody once asked me, sir, can somebody push me off like that, emotionally disturbed? I said, if you are standing at the edge of the cliff, even an ant can push you down. It needs to bite you and you will fall off. But if you are standing at the center, even an elephant cannot knock you down. In the same way, if you are standing at the periphery of your emotion, if you are a fragile person, if your emotions are shallow, all I need is a wife who message not replied can push you down. The absence of a blue tick can push you off your center. Whereas if you are seated at the center, if you are emotionally stable, if you are emotionally grown up, if you understand who you are, somebody's rejection also cannot touch you. They have rejected a role. जाने दो यार, की फर्क पैंदा, कोई फर्क नहीं पैंदा, Punjabi. Nothing like that. That's what I tell people. Somebody asks you a message. Hey, how are you this morning? Hereafter, reply only in Gujarati, because that's the only language which tells you this. Anandma. That's a Gujarati reply. Anandma. Kemcho, Anandma. English la, okay, moon dot, K moon dot, I know nothing is okay. Yeah, the water the sun. Chalta hai, pulling on. This is all English words we have, Indians have invented. Yeah, the water, pulling. Going along. Inadequate. Ulla pulukam. There is pressure inside. There is certain humidity inside. There is heat inside, which is not letting you be happy. Go into the invariable platform. I am the role player. Start in the morning. First thing. At 6:30, join my meditation if you want. At 6:30, I run a class in the morning. We do affirmations, reflections. Start in the morning. I am an awareful being. This is my nature. May this nature radiate through all the roles that I play. So I am a father, awareful father. I am husband, awareful, mindful husband. I am a mindful citizen. Being a mindful citizen, I don't use words loosely. I don't use words which have no meaning. I don't use exaggerated adjectives. He is a good Swami. That's a good Swami, bad Swami. He is a good Swami. These are useless adjectives. I saw some messages. A fellow came to me with a lot of problems. He said, look at the messages this person has sent to sir. What is the message? You are my Lord. I have built a temple for you in my heart. He says, sir, now she is not replying to my messages. I said, see, there's an exaggerated thing and you got carried away by that exact. That's why you are sorrowful. You be mindful. You send back a message. You continue to be a goddess. Stay far away. Didn't hear that. He left me and went because of the Morata Vaidyan. He says, you are just like Puttur Vaidyam, sir. He went away. Either it's not Puttur Vaidyam, it's a reality Vaidyam. When something goes, if something goes away, understand it can go away. It's not because something unusual has happened. It is possible for the object to go away. Start your morning. I am an awareful being. This is my nature. What is the awareful being's nature? I am limitlessly happy. I am limitlessly compassionate. I am limitlessly gentle. I am kind. Everything pure goes to that, and relatively pure you can exude to the world around. We chant a stotra called Dakshinamurti Stotram. It says, Nana Chidra Gatodara Stitamaha Dvipa Prabha Bhaswaram Jnanam Yasya Tu Chakshura Dikarana Dvara Bahispandate. Okay, this is a ghata, a pot. In this pot, there is a lighted lamp, a glowing lamp, and the lamp shines through all the holes in the system. So in a pot, in a ghata, if you put a lamp and there are holes there, just as the light will shine through all those holes. This is a ghata, a pot. In this pot, there is Chaitanyam, and the Chaitanyam's nature is Anandam. So through my eyes, through my words, through my actions, I Reflect. Anandoham, Anandoham, Anandoham. Can you not live your life like this? Yeah. Now it will pierce. Try, you can do it. Because it's your Rupam. I'm not talking about somebody else. It is you. Dear you. I'm talking about you. And who are you going to live with? You are very kind to all the people in the world. Next door neighbor, auto rickshaw driver, Ola fellow, you're very kind to all of them. But when it comes to near family members, why do you bite? Why can't you be like that? Why can't you simply decide, I am going to let my Atma run the world and not my Ahankara? Ahankara means reaction. Atma means response. I am going to respond. We'll talk in future sessions. We'll definitely talk about emotions. How can I be, sir? Sir, I'm getting angry. I get upset. Yeah. All these are valid. We'll handle that appropriate time. But know that you are Avinashi. And this Avinashi cannot be Vyaya. You cannot disturb him. Kartum arhati. You can't touch this Avinashi. The problems of the role cannot touch me, the role player. You can hang the role, but you cannot hang the role player. You can have Shiva, Veerabandi Kattabomman, you can hang, but you cannot hang Shivaji Ganesh, the role player. Shivaji will himself be clapping his hanging. And all his family will say, so the role player's problem cannot touch you. Kartum arhati. It does not have the capacity to touch you. And this is a matter of knowledge. Cognitive. Here. It is just here. Cognitive. You have to reflect. Shravana. Then thanks to our technical team, this will be available to you as a recording. So don't come and tell me after 1 year, sir, I've got all 52 recordings of yours. How many times have you heard? No, sir, I've never heard, sir. I've saved it, sir. It's not used at all. You don't save it, but listen to it 3-4 times, delete it if you like. I've saved it, sir. There is a fellow who spent nearly 30,000-40,000 rupees buying all the CDs of Swamiji. I asked him, what is the condition of the CD? Sir, I've got a beautiful library, sir. But you listen, no, sir, CD drive is not working. Now, this is the value. They are all in the books. It makes no difference. That is what is called mumukshutvam. There should be it is like somebody said, put a burning pot on your head. Somebody asked Ramakrishna, Paramahamsa, sir, how will you see God? So both of them were having bath in the Ganga. Ramakrishna suddenly caught hold of his head and put it underwater and released. He said, if that is the Tivram with which you want God, God will come to you. You have to have the Tivram. When will Bhakti work? Bhakti will work only when Ishvara is real for you. As long as Ishvara is in a picture every morning, money, it won't work. Please understand, it won't work. You can do all the Nevedyam, you can do all the Veda, Virta Paripalanam, but you have to emotionally make the God come alive to you. You have to have a conversation. Now I am replacing temporarily the word Atma with Bhagavan. So sometimes you can say Avinashitu Tadvidhi. You are immortal. So I say Bhagavan, understand Bhagavan is immortal. Okay, temporarily, I put X factor. Okay, X is. Bhagavan is immortal. Everything else is mortal, including me. We will all go into Bhagavan one day. At least start there. Learn the art. My Guruji taught me. Learn the art of putting all your pain, your problems, everything into BBC. BBC, Bhagavan's briefcase. Okay, Bhagavan has a briefcase. Open the briefcase, in the problem. This is the problem I have put. Okay, you put in the briefcase, leave it. It is Ishvara Srishti. He will take care. You are only a role player. There's a beautiful song. Tera वजूद है सिर्फ दास्तां के लिए, न तू ज़मी के लिए, न आसमान के लिए. You are only there for the purpose of a role. In some roles, you have to hold a spear and keep standing. After the age of 70, we become sentries, no, holding one stand. Family will play the role. There you start complaining, I am not treated like the Raja. That is how the role is. Learn to live without the inner chatter. There is an inner chatter when you wake up in the morning. Good morning. Hey, what is good about the morning, man? The first chatter. What is good about this morning? Stock market is down. Everything. You have a murmur about everything. If it is cold, it's too cold. If it is hot, it's too cold. Madras will be hot. It will not be like Boston. If it's hot, you move to some other cold place. If this is there, that is not there. There is one saying, very good Tamil word. All of us are that. It's called Munumunuttan. Throughout the day, you will be grumbling from inside. Idu sarila, idu sarila, idu sarila, idu sarila. And that poor wife of yours is living with you for the 50th anniversary. And when this fellow guy, she says, what do I miss? I miss his munu. My mama passed away recently, They lived together for 50 years of lovely married life. I asked my mommy, what do you miss? She said, that's what I miss. I miss that polambal. What do you miss? Polambal you miss. Okay, you apologize to my mommy. But we miss that Murumuruthan. Hey, why do you want to buy Murumuruthan? Can we not make a change here? Can you change your life? Avinashitu Tatvitti. Okay, let's quickly see the next one before we close for the day, because that comes. So, this is again for us, before we go back to Arjuna. Antavanta ime deha. Antavanta ime deha. Nityasyokta sharirinaha. Nityasyokta sharirinaha. Nityasyokta sharirinaha. First line. Antavanta ime deha. Nityasyokta sharirinaha. Antavanta ime deha. Nityasyokta manishinaha. Anashino aprameyasya. Anashino aprameyasya. Tasmadyudhyasva bharata. Tasmadyudhyasva bharata. Whole line. Anashino aprameyasya. Tasmadyudhyasva bharata. Anashino aprameyasya. Tasmadyudhyasva bharata. Whole line. Whole verse. Antavanta ime deha. Nityasyokta manishinaha. Anashino aprameyasya. Tasmadyudhyasva bharata. Once more. Antavanta ime deha. Nityasyokta sharirinaha. Anashino aprameyasya. Tasmadyudhyasva bharata. We'll see the word meaning and detail, because it's a lot of meaning to be understood in this, which I will go back next week. Antavanta ime deha. This body is anatma. Antavanta, it has to perish sometime. But inside the body, there is a shariri. This is shariram. There is a shariri. What is the shariri's nature? Shariri is permanent. Nitya. He is nitya. He is permanent. And aprameyasya. You cannot know him by operating the ordinary means of knowledge. To know the shariri, you cannot use the means of knowledge through which you know the sharira. Sharira can be used by this operation of these means of knowledge. To understand the shariri, I have to use a different means of knowledge. So shariri aprameyasya nityasyokta. Okay. Antavanta ime deha. Let me close the book. Yeah. So antavanta ime deha. This Ime deha, it is said, ukta, antavantaha, ime deha is perishable, nityasya. What is nityasya? Shariri is nitya. He is anashinaha, avinashi. Avinashi, why we use avinashi? It is not self-destructing. That's why you use the word avinashi. Anashi, it cannot be destroyed by others. So two words beautifully used. Avinashi, self, there are so many things self-destruct. So Avinashi, it is not self-destructing. Anashi, it cannot be destroyed from outside. Anashinaha, okay. Aprameyasya, you need insight to know him. This sight is not enough. With this sight of dekhte ho, darshan karo, you have to see, you have to have insight fully know. That's why it's aprameyasya. Therefore, tasmat yuddhasva. What is yuddhasva? You are acting in this world through your body-mind complex. Do what is required to be done in keeping with your role. The role responsibilities are there. Understand that you are Avinashi. Understand that you are Anashi. There are roles which require certain responsibilities. These responsibilities, some of them are unavoidable. The unavoidable, gladly do. What you do does not make you great. How you do makes you great. Remember that. So, tasmad yuddhasva. If you have to fight, fight. If you have to go represent in a war, your team in a war, go represent. It's given, an ultimate example is given. It's not asking you and me to fight. He's telling Arjuna, you have come for a war field. Why don't you go and fight, man? His job is to fight. So, we'll, at this point of time, don't want to use like it's very profound, great, nothing like that. It is, I am talking about you. I am not talking about you. My guru spoke to me about me. I am just what I remember from what my Guruji told me, I am telling you. I did dhyanam this morning to my Guruji. I said, I have this important verse coming. Oh, Guru, help me. So Guru is helping me. I put the problem into Bhagavan's briefcase, Guru's briefcase. Please, may this work. It works. It works. It's about you. You are seeing yourself. You can transform your life. You can rewrite your destiny. Dukkham can be totally erased from your life. This is the only knowledge. Everybody says, I will get you to Swargaloka, I will take you here, I will take you there. Nobody tells you, I will remove your dukkham here and now. Some people say you are already condemned, therefore I have to take you to another world. Anga poi bread, wine, what will happen? Continue to be dukkhi. That's why the Vedic religion, there is no God there. We are all eternal seekers. We are seeking ourselves. Dear you, you are seeking yourself. Your end will never give you, the ends will never give you the end. You have to understand between the end and what you, there should be no gap. There should be fusion. This is, and once you know that you are mukta, it's cognitive. You can be mukta now. You don't have to wait till later. 6:45, you can be mukta purusha. Why 6:45? 6:35 seconds, you are a mukta purusha. Just have to relate and convince yourself, I will live my life. If you don't have the power to convince yourself, lift your hand to Krishna. Kataksha Kirna Chant Naman Mohabdaye Namaha. Please remove all my confusions. Anantaranda Krishnaya Jagan Mangala Murtaye. Remove my confusion. What is the confusion? Ahamasmi sadhabami kadachinna hamapriyaha brahmaivaham atasiddham Satchidanand. This is me. I am not able to see myself as me. Remove the problem. What problem? There is no problem. Give me freedom from what I am not. Hey, what are you asking, man? Freedom from what you are not? How can I give you freedom from what you are not? Know that you are not that. That's all. It's cognitive. For that, there is a preparation necessary. So far, nobody has told you, no? In your lifetime, there are people here 70 years, 60 years, young fellows also. Has anybody told you you are a Mukta Purusha? Nobody has told you. Everybody has told you you have to get into cutthroat competition. Nobody has told you. Vedanta comes and tells you, you are a Mukta Purusha, free person. Free, you are absolutely free here now. Okay? So we will continue next week. Swasti prajabhya paripalayantam न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनीं देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय हो, स्वामी दयानंद महाराज की जय हो, सब संतों की जय हो, पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय हो, बजरंग बली की जय हो, जय हो। ओम नमः शिवाय, बम भोले शंकर। Yeah, if there are any questions, yeah, please. No problem. Yeah, I'll do that. Huh. Okay, yeah, fine. Yeah, yes, there is. I'll bring it up. Vasudha has brought out a very beautiful question. It is not naive. It's a very valid question. It's a very valid question. That question is asked by so many people. People, highly qualified people have asked these, scholars have asked these questions. Vasudha's question is quite simple. She says you are talking about Avinashi and the role. That is Advaita. What is the Dvaita? Okay, very simple. In Dvaita, to start with, there is no Atma. He says, forget about Atma. There is only Mahavishnu. Everything resolves into Mahavishnu. There is no existence other than Vishnu. They said, don't even look at Advaita. There cannot be Advaita. Look at Mahavishnu. That is the basic thing. At some point of time, when we have a sound grounding, we'll see. Because there are the whole thing, it's bhakti based. So in a bhakti based thing, they say, what is the question of you being Atma? Just merge with the Lord, your problem is solved. You are merging with the Lord. There is nothing other than the Lord. Advaita says, there is nothing other than you. And who are you? Not this 5'7", 5'8". You are Atma. Advaita takes you from world dependence to God dependence to independence, moksha. Dvaita says from the world dependence, God or God dependence, that is moksha. You don't need anything more than that. That's all the basic difference. Okay. This is basic understanding. We'll see at some point of time. We see more scholarship. Yeah. Anybody?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Yeah, Dhruv. Yeah.
So Advaita says everything is Maya and body, label, XYZ. But how do we know there is a limit to suppose somebody disrespects us or abuses us? How do we know that enough is enough? And yeah, for example, in the Arjuna's case itself, the Kauravas grabbed the land, kidnapped, humiliated his wife. How do we tell this is enough? This deserves punishment. How do we know that trigger?
Okay. So Adrit's question is, if everything is Maya, then when do you say when people insult me or uh, oppress me, persecute me, when do I call a stop? Very good. When I say Maya, let's understand Maya is not something which is magic or non-existent. For example, you are seeing a magic show, right? There is a fellow who lays a lady on the table, cuts her to pieces, moves the head, the foot, everything around. You know the whole thing is a magic, and yet you appreciate. Okay? In the same Maya, we even like a magician. What you see is like an illusion. You see the sun rise and sunset, but you know for sure the sun does not rise and set. So your knowledge of the sunrise and sunset does not your knowledge of the sun being the center and the whole planets going around, that is the truth. The truth does not dismiss your what you are seeing. So Maya is a factor which makes the truth appear a little differently to you. The truth is not dismissed. That's a Maya part. Now when it comes to role playing, you're playing a role. The role goes with certain script. Okay, the script there is a frame of reference for every script. In the frame of reference, there is knowledge gained by yourself. There are people close to you who give you knowledge. There are teachers who give you knowledge. There are advisors who give you knowledge. There are scholars who give you knowledge. This is what decides your limit. So in Arjuna's case, they went for 13 years exile. He didn't hit that time. His family said, look, we have done something wrong. Let us face the outcome of our mistakes. There came a point of time when an advisor like Krishna came and said, look, this is now or never. So in our life, how long do you take insults? Something from inside will tell you enough is enough. Some advisors will tell you, hey, why you would put up with this nonsense for so long? Sometime when you are not respected, you would like to leave the table. Would you like someone to kick you on your chest? Yeah? No. But I would like to be kicked by my granddaughter. And I hold up my granddaughter and she kicks me in my chest. I enjoy it. I say, see how well she kicks me. I say, you have been kicking me like your father has been doing when he was 1 year old. So kicking is not the problem. Like I said, no, what you do is not the problem. How you do, where you do. So it's an attitude. It's a paradigm shift. I have been given a buddhi. I am to live intelligently. I bring Ishvara into my life. I bring scholars into my life. I bring Satpurushas into my life. We are having a beautiful satsang. Anybody in this group, if you call, they may possibly advise you. So you don't have to really figure out, help comes. Okay? Good, Adrit. Very good. Very valid question. For a young man, this is a very valid question. Good.
Thank you so much.
Good. Good, Adrit. I'm happy you are keenly observing. You're a young Arjuna. You will gain a lot. Very nice. So it's been wonderful this evening. Let's meet again next week. Till such time, let Krishna come into our lives. Bring Krishna into your lives. Every morning. Okay, at 6:30 every morning, I do a small reflection session. Anybody who has the time in the group, I can give that Zoom. It's only 30 minutes. We start at 6:30, end at 7. It's just a reflection. People can join if you like. It's a reflection. We think together. We reflect, especially Aham Atma, Aham Brahma, how I should live for the day. Bless me for the day. It's a thought. There are some people, young people, who give some very good how they live their lives. See, please understand, roles mean problems. And all of them are various kinds. Each role brings a separate script that is called Prarabdha Karma. The script of the role, individual role, is called PK, Prarabdha Karma. How you live that role is called Agami Karma. How you act is Agami Karma. That is how it is. It's a fair. See, It is simple, but not simplistic. That's what we have to be careful. It's simple. We make it complex with our thinking. For instance, see, today I am not able to get up at 5 o'clock. What will I think? I could not get up because yesterday I slept late. Yesterday my wife argued with me, did not allow me to sleep. Okay, the alarm did not ring on time. At 1 o'clock, there was a power failure. Too many excuses. Why don't I simply say I could not get up? Period. Over. Problem solved. I could not get up. I have made it into a complex issue. Therefore, let us live our lives in Vedanta Jnana. Let us live. Let us pray. May I abide in this knowledge. May my pursuit of Atma Jnana, unflinching pursuit of Atma Jnana, may all my energies be directed towards valid pursuits. May I not waste one moment in wasteful thought process. Idala prayers we can. Om Hari Om. May God be with you. May Ishvara be with you. May Krishna be with you. Jai.
Thank you, sir.
Om.
Pandit, you